The City of Soundsville is the name of this podcast, and I'm your host, Shadow Streak, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host,
RJ App, getting rid of a cold.
Yeah, he's you know, I actually, I realized something. I had an epiphany yesterday, RJ, while I was, planning for, recording this episode today.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Is your name RJ because you're secretly Roger Jackson?
Yes.
Oh my God,
That's
we
right.
have the voice of Mojo Jojo on our podcast. How about that?
You didn't know this, but I'm the Ghostface Killer.
Yeah, can you do your Mojo voice for everybody? We'd all like to hear it.
Hey man, it's me.
That's not what Mojo would say.
I
doesn't
gotta
sound
stop.
anything like Mojo.
I've got to get Spider-Man.
What? That's not how Mojo talks. Roger,
okay, I have a confession. I have no idea what
touch.
Mojo is.
You don't know who Mojo is?
Did I do that?
Yeah, you did. Back in like 1998.
Oh wow. You know. Well,
yeah.
How was it? Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was 26 years ago. Oh, I just dated this podcast. Oopsies. Oh well.
Making me feel old. Well, I'm already forgetting everything.
We're old. Yeah, I forgot what I did this morning. But okay, well, anyway, now that we got that stupid bit out of the way, we can actually move on to talking about some. Well, I guess we have at least one thing to talk about right here at the beginning of the episode. For those who haven't heard already, a good friend, and by friend I mean person we look up to for creating the show in the first place.
In other words, God.
Yeah, the God of the Powerpuff Girls. You could say that.
No, like God in general.
Oh, okay. I guess Craig McCracken is God then.
Yeah.
Or something.
If you create imaginary friends, you could create anything.
That's true. Even when they copy what they see on TV. But yeah. Craig McCracken has left Twitter, and God bless him. Or I guess him bless him. Wait, no, him is a
you guys
Powerpuff
blew
Girls
it.
character.
Craig McCracken is gone.
Craig bless himself. I don't know. Good for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy. I've honestly almost completely abandoned that site too. In fact, again, dating this podcast, I tweeted like 2 days ago that I'm probably leaving Twitter. I've also am migrating to the exact same platform that Craig has moved to, which is Blue Sky.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not Craig McCracken, so who really cares if you leave?
No, I'm not. But you know what? I'm one of Craig McCracken's followers.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah,
sure.
And I follow him on Blue Sky. So what you should do is if you have Blue Sky, and if you don't have Blue Sky, get it and get off of Twitter. Please save yourselves. Follow Craig on Blue Sky and follow me on Blue Sky and follow RJ on Blue Sky whenever he decides to get one. You can find me there at A Shadow Streak, which is the same username I have on Twitter and YouTube. And you can find Craig there at, I believe it's going to be Crack McCragan. That's usually what he uses. So
yeah, he's already on there. He just didn't really use it yet.
He hasn't used it yet, but I'm sure he probably will. A lot of the non-extreme people, I guess just chill people that just want to have fun and post about fun stuff, that's where everyone's gone. Hopefully the cesspool doesn't follow. Hopefully the cesspool stays on Twitter, but I guess only time will tell with that. I guess in another semi-related topic, maybe, kind of, possibly, RJ, I don't know if you've heard about this, but apparently various social media companies are looking at rolling out AI users completely, like full-blown, having fake, not just bots, but like full-blown AI-programmed users that will interact with people on these platforms.
That's already a thing.
It is, but I'm talking like en masse. Like I know they're already starting to roll it out, but like from the sounds of things, it sounds like it'll get to the point where it's probably like 75% of insert social media platform names here. Platform, it consists of non-human users, which honestly
it already is
awful. But I'm not talking just bots. I'm talking full-blown AI users. Like I know there are some, but like I don't think it's at the point where it's like going to become that's all you see, but I feel like it's going to get to that point. And at that point, I just hope all of social media collapses completely.
Be honest, awesome. Like a lot of the people on there don't make any fucking sense anyway. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait. I mean, flipping.
We are past the first minute, so we can swear now.
Okay.
That's how it works. Even though we'll
Uh,
probably never be monetized ever, because I don't ever expect this podcast to be anything more than a hobby for us, which is completely
can't.
fine, by the way. I'm doing this as a hobby, not to make money or anything. But in the event that stupid swearing restrictions impact us on the platforms, I'd rather this video not be like blocked or restricted to a
censor us,
mature
man.
audience or something. Yeah, like I want it to be accessible to as many people as possible. That's more of the angle I'm looking at.
Yeah,
it
we're
from. So, like,
important.
so basically, for the first minute, we're not going to swear. And then after that, I'm going to say fuck like as much as I feel like it. And if you don't like me saying that word, I apologize. Go somewhere else, because I don't really, swearing doesn't really bother me. So, yeah.
This food is so fucking good, Lois.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Pete. No, I can't do a Lois voice. Are you kidding me? I'd actually have to sit down. I'd have to like listen to it. That's the thing, is like with a lot of voices, like there's some voices that I can replicate because I just do it regularly all the time. But there's other voices, it's like I have to listen to it and see if I can even like make that sort of inflection occur or not.
Professional
Also,
voice actor.
if you hear any meowing in the background, that's I keep bumping my headset against my microphone stand. If you hear any meowing in the background, that's my cat. I apologize. She wants to leave the room, but she's not allowed to right now. She's unfortunately locked in here with me. So I have her food, I have her water, I have her litter box, and I have her bed. And she's got a couple toys. So honestly, I mean, I don't see why she would want out, but she does. So probably just because she doesn't want to be restricted. But yeah, she's got me in the basement. I'm actually building this crystal machine that'll send a ray across like a 50-mile radius, and it'll turn all people into like the obedient slaves of cats. Oh wait, that was last episode. Shoot, that would have been an awesome segue if only.
Yeah, for Kathmandu.
Yeah, I still hate that title. I don't hate the title, it's just it's not significant. Anyway.
Listen, we already talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not going to fight you on
We're
it.
past that. The only thing that I ever really feel we need to bring up is the fact that Paste Makes Waste is just the best episode ever made of any cartoon in the history of cinema and animation and television and all forms of media. I mean, it's better than any song that's ever been written. It's better than everything. Honestly, humanity peaked with Paste Makes Waste. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, the Beatles pale in comparison to Paste Makes Waste. Paste Makes Waste was peak Lifetime art.
Peak sci-fi.
Anyway, that being said, unless you have anything else, I think we're good to move on to this week's episodes.
Let's talk about the damn episode.
Well, I just said unless you have anything else. That's exactly what we're going to do, RJ.
Let's talk about the damn episode.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we'll move into the 2 episodes for this week. So that, of course, is going to be the last dual pairing of Season 1. That's Season 1, Episode 11, consisting of Just Another Manic Mojo and Mime for a Change. The former, of course, being the first one we're going to be talking about here. Just Another Manic Mojo. This is, I would say, one of the best comedy episodes of the whole season, in my personal opinion. I think this episode has tons of great gags and fun jokes, and it's just an all-around hilarious concept, I think. Like, it really humanizes Mojo. In most of his previous appearances, like, yeah, he's the villain, he's a bad guy, whatever, but we've never seen, like, what is Mojo's day-to-day life like? You know, what's life like for a villain in Townsville? And this episode sort of gives us a taste of that for the first 3 minutes, and I honestly think it's absolutely genius, personally. But what about you, RJ? What are your overall thoughts about this episode?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, yeah, like you said, we've just been like every episode of Season 1, you've just been building and building on Mojo. Like each episode, like kind of he gets a little bit more personality. He gets a little bit funnier, and like this episode just solidifies who he is. That's because I remember we were saying like Monkey See Doggy Do. There was like you know, he was fine in that, but like he wasn't like a 3-dimensional character like he is here.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he was very much he was just the villain.
Right, yeah, Telephonies was the first one I said, oh, okay, that's Mojo. And then
that gave us just a bit of insight with him, like, you know, reading the paper and just like chilling, and he's like, I'm not doing anything evil today.
Even like, you know, the voice performance is a little bit more eccentric too.
Mm-hmm.
So Roger really gets, and then, you know, then you had Mr. Mojo's Rising, and now you have this. So like you see all of Mojo basically.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, his character is pretty well established.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's not even Season 2 yet. So like, yeah, then again, like still like we're like a lot of these Season 1 episodes, it's like I can't believe these episodes are in the first season of the show.
Yeah, this honestly feels like they've already gotten into the season 2 phase of like,
Yeah,
yeah, we
like
know what we're doing. We've got that momentum.
I don't remember what episode we were talking about when we said like there was another episode where we're just like I can't believe this is season. Oh, it was in Peach Fuzz actually. Yeah,
In Peach
we're just like I
Fuzz. Yep.
cannot believe this isn't season 1. Like this is like season 3 levels of material because it's like you guys know your characters so well at this point.
Mm-hmm. It's very impressive for them to have kind of
So
caught
yeah,
on
very
this
good
quickly,
episode.
you know.
And this one is actually boarded by Gendy. I believe he directed it too.
Well, yeah, that's why I love this episode so much. It's Gendy's. Yeah, I mean, I love. There's a lot of just to like kind of start with that. There is a ton of great shots in that beginning sequence where Mojo so Mojo wakes up for the day. You know, I love that shot of like him opening the giant hatch and then the sun is just smiling.
Wait, you're cutting out. I'm sorry. I really didn't want to
just
like
this
stop editing, but you're
bright,
cutting out really
just
bad for
giant
me. I don't
ball
know
of
if it's
light
my
and
end or...
happiness, and he just looks up and says curses and then closes it back. Oh, you're good. I'll just keep talking. Hopefully it fixes for you. You know, I love the part where so he gets on the conveyor belt and like, you know, the machine goes and kind of gets him ready for the day. And then I love oh my gosh, the sequence where he goes to the fridge and he opens it up and sees that he's only got 1 egg and he needs 2. I love all those shots. They're so overly exaggerated. They're so extreme. They're like treated like some intense action sequence, but it's just him freaking out because he doesn't have eggs. I love the side angle shots of him. Again, that one of him like being zoomed out where you can see the eggs in like the foreground essentially. I love all that.
I mean, yeah, it's very Gendy like playing with shots. And you get to see Gendy's like comedy sensibility a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I was saying, I love how like it's exaggerated and it's treated like this extreme, almost like his action editing is there with like the quick cuts and the different angles of him. Like he opens the fridge and it's all chill, and then there's that shot of him zooming away while the egg sits in the foreground, and then it's like a bunch of close-up shots on his face and changing angles really quickly, and as he has that monologue of like, I only have 1 and it is 2 that I need, you know, that sort of thing.
Right.
I love the editing.
It's funny because yeah, we also talking about Gendy. Like this is like Powerpuff is also his show too. Like it's half his show because I think yeah, even Craig said this was his chance to do action because this is pre-Samurai Jack. So he really gets to, you know, cut his, even though this is a comedy episode, like he really gets to cut his teeth onto action on the show. I think Robert Zetti said like he was talking about Dexter. And of course, you know, Gendy is the creator. He created the characters, but like he said, it's really 4 people shows. So, and I assume that group is Gendy, like Paul Rudish, Robert Zendi. But like, you know, it's really all of their shows. And I think that continues here because this is really Gendy's action sensibility.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but I was saying that this is probably debatably the best comedy-based episode of the season. It's definitely up there for me. I might consider it my favorite comedy-focused episode.
Now, there are episodes I found funnier than it, but it's a good one.
Yeah. Comedy's pretty subjective, so, you know, that one's always going to have a different answer as far as what's the funniest. But
because, I mean, I guess we're using comedy, but, like, they're all sort of comedy. But this one is a little bit sillier.
Yeah, but like, you know, there's that scale that we've always talked about before where some episodes lean more into a serious action show and other episodes are definitely more comedy focused than
even though it's all kind of comedy, but
yeah. Except for Speed Demon, obviously. Speed Demon is so dark and serious.
No, like I would even say that one has a lot of jokes in it.
No, RJ, it's the darkest episode. It's so dark. I love how dark it is. I wish the whole series was nothing but Speed Demon.
That's because like some of those things are jokes too. Like they're kind of dark, screwed up jokes, but you know they are jokes.
People don't get that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, if you're a kid, right, you're taking everything literally, but if you're a little older, like Speed Demon is actually pretty funny too. Like it's great and it's dark, but it's pretty funny intentionally also. Even Knock It Off is hilarious.
It does do me the funny ha-has.
That's what I think the movie's problem is as good as it is. Like I think you could be dark, but
it lacks a lot of the comedy, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, it's just like even the darkest episodes of the show are also funny.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, getting back to this silly episode with like not a lot of action, it's just also good. Yeah. Like I like the narrator's just yelling at Mojo. He hasn't even woken up yet.
I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Yeah.
I think this is the first time you get that theme with Mojo too.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I don't remember if it was I don't think it was in Mr. Mojo's Rising.
No, I don't think it was. Like this particular cue?
You're right. Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
And I think his theme really is just like the taken from the theme song.
It is. It's that one part where the villains kind of scroll by in that panorama, but just extended into its own, sort of like that leitmotif has become just kind of a more extended version of an actual theme for him.
Right, I mean, because he is the villain, so he deserves it.
Yep.
I still think it's crazy that like that motif was like originally the girl's theme.
Mm-hmm.
And Craig was
but
like, no,
I think
like,
it makes sense. I think it makes sense that it's Mojo's theme because it does have that like deeper kind of like heavier sound to it.
Well, yeah, it's not heroic
it
because
makes more sense. Exactly, it makes more sense for a villain.
Because Jim Venable's thinking was like, the girls are such badasses that they have that theme, but it's not. It doesn't really fit superheroes, but
no,
it's a great theme for Mojo.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
And also, we kind of get Mojo's catchphrase. To be honest, I don't think anybody in the show really has a catchphrase for the better. I think for the best. I don't. Catchphrases are kind of lame, but they're a little bit hacky. But curses is kind of what Mojo uses. He didn't obviously they didn't create curses, but that's kind of his thing.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's basically his running gag for the episode.
Yeah, he says curses all the time, and he uses curses and double curses all the time.
Yep. I think this episode is like the most he ever says it in one episode, though.
Sure. And
but yeah,
I do love I love whenever the series points out like how funny it is that Mojo's lair is just in the park.
Yeah, on a volcano, no less.
Like it's just like that just sets the tone for the show. It's like, of course, like a villain has this entire evil lair in the park, and people are just playing happily outside.
Yeah, the kids are playing in his moat. It's great.
Yeah, right. And he implies that he's going to destroy those kids later. I don't think he's going to do it.
No, he got distracted by the Powerpuff Girls, so.
Yeah, he couldn't even destroy those kids.
No. But yeah. I really love the whole first like 3 or 4 minutes of the episode. It's just Mojo. Like that's why I love this episode, because it's like Gendy and crew found a way to make a 4-minute sequence about an evil chimpanzee going to the grocery store to buy eggs funny.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I mean, that's not something that you could just pull off. I mean, like, it's how do you make going to the store and buy eggs entertaining?
It's so absurd and
such
funny.
a mundane.
Yeah,
that's where it lies. It's like it's the absurdity of the normalcy. It's like going to the store and buying eggs is such a normal thing that everybody does. It's like, why would anyone find that funny? But it's because of the way Mojo reacts to the stimuli in his environment. I mean, the whole part where, and some people could argue, okay, the crosswalk sequence goes on a little bit too long.
It doesn't.
Yeah, debatable. I disagree. I think it actually really just intensifies Mojo's frustration with why he hates everyone. And a lot of people can probably relate to the annoyance of other people, being around them, the talking and the gum chewing and the snapping and the, all that, the kid or whatever,
I don't think some people don't understand. Some people don't understand what it's like to be at a crosswalk at the city with a lot of people.
Yeah, and
that
it's
is
like
exactly
people who
what
live
it
in a
feels
city
like.
can probably, yeah, exactly. And I know you can definitely relate to that. I can relate to that. I've lived in a city before. So, it's like, if you have that experience, there's definitely a personal connection in relation to that situation that, yeah, okay, someone who's lived out in the country or in a rural environment their whole life isn't really going to have that perspective. But, for a lot of people that have been in that environment, it's like, yeah, I know exactly what that feels like. And that relatability also adds to the humor.
That, it's like the show is just taking it to the next level. It's like, okay, like they're funny villains, but they're also relatable too.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is Mojo's episode and we're relating to him and like we're actually sympathizing with him.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like on our art direction like standpoint, there's a lot of work for the model designers. There are like 1 million characters in like the first half of this episode.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah,
dude chewing
great.
gum. That is just a funny design. Also there's, I don't know why, but that incidental voice, the lady talking to her friend.
Yeah. Isn't that Tara?
Yeah, that's Tara.
Or
It's just like it's not a usual voice for her. I don't know why I found that so funny. Like she I think the conversation is she's talking about like a friend that she had and who was dating a doctor.
Yeah.
So she asked the doctor to take a look at her.
Yeah.
I don't know. That reading just sticks in my head. It's not even a significant scene, but I love that. Like, what are you, too small to take a house call?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, that's the thing though. This show thrives on quotable lines and memorable, just like
Yeah, this is a very
absurd
quotable
things. I
episode.
mean, yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then I also love the part where where Mojo just walks into the store and he asks like, where can I buy eggs? And he's like, aisle 3, and then he just looks to his left or right, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, that's such a funny conceptual gag because like it's like
Mhm.
this is just a super villain like going to the store, but like he can't stop the theatrics.
No, not at all.
I like that the dude is just weirded out by it.
Yeah, he's like, aisle 3.
Another funny
And
thing
it's like, does this guy not recognize Mojo Jojo? Like,
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
you
Like,
know?
it's also funny. Like, I honestly think like with this show, I think like they probably do just know Mojo Jojo. It's like he just lives there.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's Mojo.
He's just going grocery shopping. Like, he's not doing anything evil
Yep.
today.
Yeah.
He also lives in Townsville, like everybody else.
Yeah. And
Though
it
I
also,
will say,
it
I
kinda
find that funny.
reiterates
Though I will say, I find that funny sometimes because like there's some episodes where like they're like angry citizens who I apparently don't know who the Powerpuff Girls are,
Mhm.
and they might just like just treat them like any kid or person. Like Blossom's like working at hot dog on the skewer and like they're just yelling at her. Like I do find that stuff funny. So I'm not such a stickler about the townspeople having to know who people are, but
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
mean,
in this case
it
I think
also
they do know
goes back-
Mojo.
I think it goes back to that episode, Telephonies, where he's like, we're citizens, evil citizens, but citizens nonetheless. It's like, yeah, he's an ordinary guy that lives in Townsville, It's
Even
like,
yeah,
I mean,
him
he's
lives
not
in an
ordinary,
apartment
but
essentially.
yeah, somewhere in some dimension or something. It's never really established, but and it changes.
It changes. He doesn't just live in
over the
hell, but
course of time.
he lives in Townsville hell.
Yeah. I said this in my season 1 video, but his apartment actually reminds me of my of my grandmother's basement in her
What does
actually,
that
she
mean?
still has the house to this. When I was a kid and I'd go over to visit my grandparents, like I would watch the Powerpuff Girls in my grandparents' house. My grandmother still lives there to this day.
Well, actually, thinking about it, he actually does have like it's half satanic and it's also half like a cheesy 70s interior.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that's the kind of feeling I get in my grandmother's, basement, or at least the memory I had of it as a kid. Unfortunately, due to flooding damage and some stuff, it's no longer the same that it used to be.
Oh, I've been
but
there.
what
yeah.
it used to be, yeah, it used to have a carpet that looks very similar to him's. Like it was a red carpet, not pink, but red. The border at the base of the floor and the wall or whatever, like that whole thing, and then the TV, like. That whole kind of setting, it just reminds me of her room, basically,
Wow.
in the basement. So, yeah, it's a little nostalgic to see that. But
Him's apartment makes you nostalgic. Wow, I'm sure that was the intent.
Simpler times, man, simpler times.
And Mojo cooks his own breakfast too.
Yeah, a breakfast for villains, no less.
One of I do love the I must attend to the dishes I've sold with the food that I have eaten.
Yeah, and he looks so sad or whatever. He's just like, I must do.
Well, it's not
this.
sad. He's just like he's so dedicated. Like it's like that's what
Yeah.
you do. He's not a slob.
Mm-hmm.
I also even the newspaper. I love Townsville like Tribune. I just love that. I love the text that they did for it.
Yeah, same.
I think they reuse that too. I do. I also love another boarding thing. I do love like the cursor shot where like it zooms out and Mojo becomes a silhouette.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, just all
that's
of it's
great.
good.
Yeah, agreed. And then of course the episode kind of takes its turn when the big kind of change in action happens when the baseball comes through the window and Mojo sees the Powerpuff Girls flying up to his door.
Right. Yeah, and of course something that could only happen in this series.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't happen. This couldn't happen in
episode-
Superman the animated series.
No,
because-
this is never going to happen in Spider-Man or Batman or anything like that. Like this is an episode where the heroes go to the villain's lair and ask for their ball back. And
they're
the
not even
whole
suspicious of him
episode-
either.
Yeah, they're just like, "Hey Mojo, can we have our baseball back?" And then there's like the rest of like the 6 minutes of the episode or 7 minutes of the episode is just Mojo trying to kill them, and they just want their ball back. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, they're
it's
just
such a
annoying kids in
great-
this. Like,
Yeah, the comedy is very apparent in the scenario for sure. It's great. I love it.
Bubbles takes on a takes on a backwards baseball cap for this episode.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
once again this is Buttercup's fault. So once again Buttercup, in the wrong a lot.
Yep. Hey, I'm Buttercup. Catch.
Catch, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah,
so
it's
much.
pretty amusing. Oh, me too. I mean, it's very much the siblings, siblings getting on each other's nerves type situation, which is just great. I love this episode a lot.
Oh, and they even have a photo album, which is apparently I guess the professor took those.
I would assume. I don't
I
know
don't
who
think
else
I
would.
don't even think they're thinking they weren't thinking about that when they were writing, I
Probably
assume,
not.
but
Probably
but
not.
like
But
that
Mojo
is
does
in
have
character for the
ancestors.
professor.
It's established later in the series that Mojo has ancestors.
Yeah, but like Professor was calling him son and stuff, so I think he actually would take this.
I know.
And they even get
It's
to see
very
a naked photo of
believable.
him. It's such a cute
Yeah,
monkey
it's
design
great.
though.
It is.
And that's the base design for all Cartoon Network monkeys.
Monkey, monkey, monkey. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oops.
No, not that monkey, not that monkey. I feel
Thank
like that
God.
monkey design shows up in like Billy and Mandy.
It probably does.
It's a Cartoon Network monkey. Remember somebody was talking about Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I think there's like a character named Steve in it. And he's like, yeah, that's the Cartoon Network monkey. Steve is a Cartoon Network monkey.
I'll be honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit abstract. Okay, but and there's a very cute sequence where they're playing hide and seek with Mojo.
Uh-huh.
So like not only are they off guard, like they're not acting like superheroes. They're just playing tag with him. Like they're having fun with their arch nemesis.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Which
think
again,
that is
you're not going to see Batman play tag with Poison
the Joker,
Ivy
yeah.
or Mr. Freeze or it's
Right.
like that's not something you can do with those more serious, mature adult even, and not necessarily in terms of material, but just in terms of the character age. It doesn't work. This is something that kids would do. You're not going to see Batman be like, hey, tag, with Robin and whatever. I mean, maybe you could see a jokester character like a Deadpool, or even, depending on the interpretation of Robin, a more comedy-based, sillier Robin,
I mean, the thing
or the
is,
Flash, or, whoever. Like a more jokestery hero could maybe do like you could totally see the Flag being like, tag, the Flash be like, tag, you're it, That's a whole thing. But it's not the same as what the girls are doing.
I mean, the thing is, too, like, for whatever reason, a lot of times in superhero shows, like, I don't know, you kind of get bummed out sometimes when they have silly episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
especially kind of like their
if it's a serialized show, if it's a more like, hey, we're telling an overarching story, usually those comedy episodes are just filler, and people are kind of turned off by that.
Yeah, but like this show, you want them to be silly, so like it's totally welcome. It's always fun.
Yeah. Great point.
I just the main thing with this episode is Mojo is always on, so I just love the expression and like the like the line reading like, I have located you.
I have located you.
Like he's so confused by the idea of children playing.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I love is Bubbles trying to knock the vase over for like literally no reason. I don't know why Bubbles is so compelled to do it. She's like a cat, like trying to knock something off a table or whatever. It's just like,
well, it's so classic. Like the little like the innocent like little kid who's just like messing everything up.
Yeah. She's almost like Dee Dee with like, ooh, what?
That's the funny thing. I mean, like Mojo's kind of Dexter in this.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he even says my laboratory.
Yeah, my laboratory.
At one point, which is a direct reference to Dexter.
I guess it is. I never thought of that, but I suppose it is.
It's like he could just say.
I mean, it's Gendy.
It's Gendy. It's completely a reference.
Like that's
100%.
No way that could have not crossed their minds. Like he's so Dexter.
No, that's 100%.
Oh, season 2 is gonna be really fun because Christine Kavanagh is in season 2 a lot.
Yeah, I can't wait for some season 2 episodes. Season 2 and 3 are my 2 favorites. A lot of people's favorites.
Great,
really. I mean, that's a popular opinion, but it's popular because it's true. So it's common consensus.
I'm sorry. I also love this dialogue. Like where's Powerpuff Girl Bubbles?
Yeah. Where is Powerpuff Girl Bubbles? Yeah, it's like that's the fun thing about season 1 is there is a lot of that like weird lingo or dialect that never comes back. It's like they just kind of say it once and then they never call a character that again. Like Buttercup calling Blossom Red that one time.
That's right.
It's like there's a lot of that like one-off, just the one time they acknowledge a character in that way and then that's it. It's very.
That's right. She said "Zip it, Red," right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I just like. Well, it's just something that Mojo would say, but it's like, these seasons were very good about balancing Mojo's dialogue for a joke. Sometimes he speaks more casually. Sometimes he's intense. Sometimes he speaks with like Mojo like dialogue.
Yep.
And like season 5 and 6, sometimes it's just like it's like, it might just be like an exposition scene, but Mojo has to do his thing where he reiterates things. Like it's funny, but like he doesn't need to do it that much.
Yeah.
And also it doesn't, like, as we always complain about, it doesn't have that thing in the comics or whatever where like he keeps speaking in first person.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, it's almost seems like a nitpick, but like I don't know, like where did they get, like, it just seems like you haven't watched the show that much, because like he doesn't do that.
Yeah, that to me, it just kind of screams out of touch. Like
He does
you
it
don't
occasionally,
actually
but like it's funny when he does it because he doesn't always do it.
yeah, he does not do it every time. It's like he, I don't know. It to me, whenever that happens, it just screams out of touch, and you don't actually understand the.
And it
character
also
that
seems
way.
like it makes him seem like stupider than he is, because like he's stupid, but like I don't think he's
Not
stupid
that
enough to keep saying it.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't think he's stupid enough to just say him. Like it makes him more one dimensional. I guess that's my main problem with it.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
just saying
yeah.
Mojo likes this. Mojo likes, like, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's not how he's supposed to talk.
It's just like it's irritating. It's not as funny as you keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is great though, I think they reuse a lot of this animation from this episode in this like this DVD special feature. I think it's on a few
Mm-hmm.
DVDs. It's definitely it was recollected on the 10th anniversary. So do you know what I'm talking about? Where like Mojo just gives you an introduction in his lair.
Yeah, I recall. Yep.
Yeah, which is like, that's a lot of the DVD extras and commercials are great for this show.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of Cartoon Network at that time, but I just love, yeah, Mojo's just giving you like a very like he's being like he's being hospitable. He's just being like very very casual. Well, that's the Mojo stuff that I love.
Yep.
There's a Mayor one too that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they just made Mojo and the Mayor. I'm not sure why. I guess Roger and Tom were just around, because I'm sure that might be also when they recorded those in character commentaries.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which we need to bring back. Like I think we took them for granted. And character commentaries are funny.
I think we took DVD special features for granted in
that's
general.
that's true.
Because there's a lot of cool stuff on those old DVDs that it's like we don't see that anymore. It's like, because everything's on streaming, it's like there's no incentive to have bonus like I know, like if you go on like a Disney Plus or whatever, like you can
it's
see
not
there
the
is
same
a section
though.
for bonus feature, but it's not the same. Dude, I'll tell you what I miss more than anything. This is kind of a tangent, but I don't care. Lion King 1.5, Lion King 2. Those 3 DVDs had these CG adventures with Timon and Pumbaa, where you could basically, like, it would you'd get in this like riding cart or whatever, and then you would drive up to a point, and then you could choose to go left or right, and it would play this CG animation. Those things were the bomb. I loved them so much. Those were all incredible. I loved them. They were great. And then Lion King 1.5 also had a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game in the DVD, themed with the Lion King. Like that was cool. Shrek 2 had the freaking fairy idol. Like there was so much cool stuff in so many of those DVDs back in the day that it's like just that does not happen anymore.
And the thing is, there were reasons
it's
to actually buy the DVD, because with streaming now, like,
yes.
I understand like people want you to like support DVD releases, which I understand, but like another thing is like, this doesn't have special features, so like why am I buying it? Yeah. Which I hate to be that way, but like, why would I buy like a DVD if it didn't have special features?
The only argument that's really there, and granted, this is a fair argument, is because you own it.
You own it, yeah. You own it, and you want to support physical media, which I understand, but I also
yeah, because with digital media, you do have that risk, and we are seeing it constantly.
We're seeing it, yeah.
Even with HBO, or Max now, almost all the Cartoon Network shows are gone. They've just been pulled. And no one can watch them there. And honestly, quite frankly, and I have no issue saying this, if you can't watch something because the owner of that media will not put it up for viewing, pirate it. Do it.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. I 100% encourage piracy. If they are not making it available for you to consume, pirate it. Pirate away. Do what you want, because a pirate is free. I will go on record saying this every single day. These corporations are shooting themselves in the foot, and they deserve to lose money if they're not even allowing themselves to make it. So,
I mean, they don't want to make money anyway, clearly. So
yeah, they clearly they don't want to make money by making.
I mean, really, they probably
available.
just don't want to. They don't want to pay some guy royalties, but it's like, all right, so I guess I'll just have to watch your show illegally.
I guess I'll just pirate your stuff then.
Yeah.
Like, You know, it's ironic because it's like when streaming first became a thing, it was like it combated piracy. It was more convenient than piracy. It's the same thing with, what was it, Gabe Newell with Steam. He's like, you can't ever get rid of piracy unless you make something better. That's me paraphrasing his quote, of course. But it's true. You know, it's like, and that's the thing, is like with the Powerpuff Girls, they released a DVD box set again, you know? So that
Which
is
is
available to
actually good.
purchase. So I'm going to sit here and tell you, go buy it.
Yeah, buy that.
You know,
that's like one of
buy
the
it.
best.
Because you can get the media, you can watch the show legally. The company has made it available. Now, sure, it's not available on streaming, and that sucks, but you get the physical media. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, there's other series too. Samurai Jack has it. Avatar has it. You know, there's other. Adventure Time, I think, has. Now, granted, I don't think Adventure Time has Blu-ray, because Samurai Jack and
I don't think so,
Avatar,
yeah.
I believe, have Blu-ray releases, if I'm not mistaken, which is better quality than DVD, of course. But like, it's like, if there is a way to do it, then I would say yes, of course. But if they're gonna be like, I don't know, not that anybody on this planet wants to actively go and seek out Mike, Lou, and Og, but I'm certain you can't watch that anywhere.
That's true. Yeah,
So your
buy
only
Mike, Lou,
option
and
is to
Og,
pirate
yeah.
it. You know, or something, you know, something obscure like that. Like, does anyone really care about sheep in the big city anymore outside of like a small group of
easy.
people?
Easy on.
I'm
Not
just
too much
saying.
on sheep.
Look, it wasn't
Listen,
a bad
if you
show,
wanna-
but
if you-
I'm just...
If you need
Look,
your
it
Time
was
Squad
not a bad
DVDs,
show.
you know, please buy it if they release a Time Squad DVD.
They're never going to release a Time Squad DVD, but that's another one. It's like there are those older archaic shows that it's like, look, the company's probably never going to make it viewable, or maybe they will. I shouldn't say never, but it's unlikely. There's a lot of these shows out here that just,
Well, Sheep
you
was on
can't
HBO
watch
for a
anywhere.
second, but that was a very short time.
yeah, and it's gone. So I don't think you can watch. I mean, here, I'll look it up just to see.
No, it's not on there now. Come on, you don't need to look that up.
I just mean on any platform.
Maybe in like I don't know, maybe in Brazil, but not here.
Let's see. Is it available anywhere? It looks like it's on Prime.
Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
No.
Nothing against Sheep, but,
But yeah. It's only available on Prime Video, it looks like. Oh wait, nope, not in the United States. It is. So there is nowhere to watch sheep in the big city as of this recording, at least. So pirate it away, pirate, because they're not making it available for you. So I'm just saying, I see nothing wrong with it. Same with games and anything else. It's like, if there is a legal way to support it, then do that. But if there isn't, what other option do you have? Anyway, I didn't mean to go on this tangent.
yeah, God, a little
or
preachy.
anything, you know, a little preachy. But let's kind of wrap this up, because we're actually going a little bit long on this first episode, and we haven't even gotten to the second one yet.
I'm sorry, I just have to say another
So,
piece of dialogue. I just like, there's like he just speaks very fast. Like what is it like sit on this couch and do not move. We'll bring it back to you. Where you are sitting on this couch. I butchered it, but I just love, like, that is so satisfying to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And him
Definitely.
like him running on all fours.
Oh yeah, when Bubbles is gonna knock over the
Yeah,
base,
it's so
and he's,
cartoony
like,
and funny.
freaking out. Oh yeah, definitely. I love that, 100%.
Yeah, it's a lot of, it's like also just a masterclass in cartoony posing. And also, I'm sure you also love the like, here, get out.
Yes. Curses. Next day.
Oh, there's another bit I love. I forgot early when the girls are coming in. Mojo Shoujo just like does this evil laugh in front of the girls. It's like it's very evil. It has like a weird like ending, and like Blossom's just like yeah.
Yeah. So can we have our ball back?
Yeah. That's a very funny scene to me.
Mhm.
And I just of
Yeah,
course
I agree with
and this show's cartoony logic. Of course, like the newspaper somehow knows that like Mojo Jojo returned the Powerpuff Girls ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I love this episode. I think it's hysterical. It's a pretty good laugh, for sure.
Right. And I think we get Mojo in the Day of Save sequence, which they reuse this like 2 more times, but they're just teasing Mojo about saving the day. But yeah, that was a very good one.
Yeah. I definitely like Just Another Manic Mojo for sure. Obviously, also a pun on the song Just Another Manic Mojo.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that.
It wasn't obvious. We didn't, but that's what the pun is.
Okay, mine for a change.
There was my cat meowing.
Which is honestly like just as much as like a Beatles reference too.
All right. Yes, mime for a change. So, I would, just straight up, I think this is probably one of the most recognizable, one of the most iconic episodes of the show, flat out.
Well, it's on merchandise.
Yeah, like this is not only because of the song, but because of like the concept. Just it's. I don't know. When I think of season 1 of Powerpuff Girls, this is the first episode that pops in my head. Mime for a change. For me personally, I don't know about you. Like, if I were to tell you season 1 Powerpuff Girls, what is the first episode that comes to your mind, RJ?
Bubble Vicious.
That's a completely valid point. I mean, Bubble Vicious. That's completely fair. There's some that I like more than this one, but they're like this one obviously is iconic. Yeah, and I'm not talking about necessarily like personal liking, but just in terms of like if you were to look at the general consensus of people.
Well, yeah, sure. It's one of the first ones you think about.
Usually a praised episode. And granted, we'll talk about the ending. Let's save that for last. But this is an episode that a lot of people will go to.
Yeah, it's a go-to episode.
And it's
I think
a really cool concept.
Even like people remembering it who probably haven't watched in 20 years, I think this is one of the ones that they would bring up. And I always appreciate. I do love the meme, by the way, when people talk about Pride Month ending and they always use Mr. Mime's paint falling off. I think that's very. I love seeing that.
Yep. Yeah, there goes the corporations for another 11 months.
Yeah, right.
They'll remember us next June.
Yeah, once again, this is bordered by David Smith, and it starts out in a very David Smith way because I was also watching another one. He did a Dexter's Lab episode with Professor Hawk, and it's very musical.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, musical stuff and weird humor. Then it means it's a David Smith episode, and he puts a background designer in the show like named Jim Smith.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep.
He puts him in a few episodes, and I think it's all he's doing. He's in Dexter's Lab probably a few times too.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he just likes putting him in the cartoons.
And notice how Jim Smith is not a love interest of any of the characters.
Oh, it's not Jim Smith. I'm sorry, it's Jim Worthy.
Well, either way. Oh yeah, it is Jim Worthy. That's right.
I'm sorry about that, Jim Worthy. I love your work.
Well, either way, notice how Jim was not self-inserted as a love interest of any of the characters.
Why did you do that?
I'm not acknowledging any more than that. I'm just making a statement. Observe that. I'll leave it at that. I forgot. Jim Worthy had a Flickr, and I believe like this Jim in this episode is his icon. He also, I remember his account, and the reason I should remember his name, he made these realistically shaded versions of the Professor and the Mayor. Oh yeah.
They're like half disturbing, like they're really uncanny. Well, actually, I'm sure some people have seen this.
Those?
Yeah, I'll send them to you. But like, they're really uncanny.
Cool
I'm sure some people have seen it. I just don't think people know that it was made by somebody who worked on the show.
Yeah. Well, my cat has come to lay on my lap now, I guess. So
she loves Mime for a change.
She sure does. Yeah, Shiko, what do you think about Mime for a change? Oh, she loves it.
Well, I didn't hear what she said. Can she say it again? Because I didn't hear it.
She's purring. She's purring.
Oh, okay.
She's just purring. She loves it.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah. Or she likes getting her head scratched right now, which is what I'm doing. So.
I think both can be true.
Dude, my cat loves to just find ways to get into all of my internet media that I create. I don't know why, but
it's a signature.
It is. She's become a staple. I mean, I think, and of the 4 videos that I've made in the last 2 years, she's shown up in all of them. So
okay, yeah, it's only 4, but like they're 4 very high quality ones.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's just like I would rather have that than like weekly videos that are BS.
Yeah, well, I used to do that.
Yeah, no, they were terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
no.
Honestly.
Well, you'll say that, of course.
Of course I will. The first 2 years of videos I made were kind of garbage. Basically, once I started, for me personally, I truly feel that my videos didn't get watchable until I did The Last Donnie Corn, which was, season 2 episode 1 of that, show. But the first 2 years I did YouTube was kind of trash. But now I kind of like my new layout format, and I think a lot of other people do too. I kind of don't have to adhere to a schedule, and I appreciate the compliment. Not to make this too much again of a tangent about my YouTube channel, but people probably came to this podcast from there, at least a decent chunk of everyone, and I'm sure a lot of people might be listening hoping like, when's he gonna do the season 2 video? Well, honestly, the season 2 episodes of the podcast are probably going to come out first. So I'm working on it,
Hey.
but we'll get there. And honestly, this podcast is going to get ahead of my video production before long. So yeah. Anyway, again, not to get on too much of a tangent, let's get back to Mime for a Change. So Mime for a Change, like I said, it's definitely one of the most iconic episodes of the show. Like, it's very recognizable. It's got such a great concept. I love the concept. Basically, there's a villain. His name is Mr. Mime. Originally Rainbow the Clown, before he gets doused in a truckload of bleach. Mr. Mime basically becomes this black and white villain who can sap the color out of everything, causing everything to become mute and lifeless. Essentially, everyone just feels kind of depressed and gloomy, and all of the life of Townsville gets sapped away. And it's up to the Powerpuff Girls to bring it back through the power of music, essentially. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on the concept? Because I personally love it. I think it's such a creative concept. I don't know. I'm sure there's been other media that have kind of maybe played with the idea. I mean, obviously they've played with the idea of black and white versus color, but I don't know if there's necessarily been like a character that could sap color away, or whatever. I can't think of anything. It probably exists considering there was decades of media before this.
I mean, I definitely don't know
obviously like. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the only thing that comes to mind, ironically, or maybe ironically is the wrong word, but The Wizard of Oz, because that was where color was kind of introduced into cinema.
I mean, this is
TV
kind
in
of
general.
somewhat of a Yellow Submarine homage, but
Yes, true. What I was getting at more so is like that movie, The Wizard of Oz, starts out, in a black, or I think it's actually sepia, not black and white. But then when Dorothy goes into the Land of Oz, she opens that door and the color comes in. This is kind of like the opposite effect of like, here's all the color and it's being taken away. Not quite like it's not a one-to-one comparison or anything, but it's another example of color being kind of experimented with in a more creative way than just Wizard of Oz was like, okay, we're presenting film in color. Whereas this is like, okay, how can we play with this concept of a villain that can take the color away, and how can we make this interesting? And honestly, I think they knocked it out of the park, because I think it's pretty cool. We get montages of Mr. Mime kind of jumping down and sapping the color out of people and out of these break dancers, and I love that pose he strikes when he does that. It's so fun. And the musical cue that plays out of the, what is it, the Calliope, or wait, how's it pronounced?
I can
Calliope, I think. It's the, when you think circus music, that instrument I'm pretty sure it's a calliope, is how it's pronounced, if I remember correctly. That instrument being the leitmotif of this villain is perfect. And I love that weird, like, it's like a drain, I guess. Like, it has like a drainy, watery sinking sound, which makes sense when you consider the fact he's draining the color from the screen. It's like, it's a really cool attention to detail that I think Venable
I'm not completely sure if that's the music or
cool.
or if that's a sound effect. That's very
maybe it's a sound effect, but it's played at the same
music,
time.
Yeah.
Like it's meshed in there together, and it's like, even when you listen to the Calliope, like it has like a not, I don't know that I'd call it distorted, but more like disturbing or unsettling, maybe an unsettling vibe to the way the Calliope plays, because it's slow. Like when you think of circus music, it's usually a bit faster, And I know there's like the stereotypical like da 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 da, but like it's like you think of the music being a little bit faster and happier and upbeat, but this is like more of like a slower, like a do 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 do, like it's like a creepier clown type of music. Not necessarily horror clown music, but like it's slower and just unsettling almost.
It's sort of horror,
which I thought was cool. Yeah, it's sort of horror, but it's not quite to like the just straight up like, this is creepy and disturbing, this clown's gonna come kill you type of music. It's just kind of
it's unsettling.
This guy is, unsettling. It's off. It's disturbing, but not in a horror, like not just a straight up like scary way. It's a more subdued, uncomfortable feeling that it.
Well, one of my favorite pieces of score for this episode is they have his like, well, because he starts running from the girls and they mix the themes together.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the drums like working in while he's like, and then the techno starts coming in while he's running away, and I think that's a really fun cue.
Yeah, that's a great sequence when they put that in there. I forgot about that.
And I didn't even think about it. There's 3 songs in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody thinks of the one, but like there's three. The first song, which of course is amazing. It's your birthday, Jim. He can't even remember his name.
Yeah. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday, Carl or Jim.
And that's what I just love that shot. Like he's just like he's grabbing his hands like today we had some fun.
Yeah.
It's perfect casting for
Goodbye.
Tom Kenny.
Goodbye. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's a very fun, zany, wacky.
Yeah, it's a
character
cartoony
that Tom
voice,
gets
and
to
also
play.
like he's very good at singing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I love that. Also, that is really funny. I do love like that was close, and the then
Yeah. That was
the bleach
close.
falls
And
off.
then it just. Yeah.
It's so mean.
Great timing. Great timing.
And then that's when he takes out Fred Flintstone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then there's the second song, which I love the second song.
The second, coloring.
Yeah. Coloring. First you take the pink, and then some blue, and then some green, and then some pink, and
Dash
then a
of
dash
blue.
of blue. Yeah. I've got the whole thing memorized because it's just so cute. I love it.
It's a very cute song, and I also love the drawing that Bubbles made. They bring back like the Bubbles crayon drawings.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about that song is it's overlaid in what's it called? What's Bubbles' theme on the City of Soundsville album? Or is it the Hearts and Stars album? It's the Hearts and Stars album, right? Or Hearts and Stars is the name of a song on the City of Soundsville. I forget. Wait, hang on.
I think it is Cities in Soundsville, yeah, and Bubbles has her own song.
Yes. Because all three of the girls have their own. I'm pretty sure they overlay that song into it. Yeah, Heroes and Villains, not Hearts and Stars. Hearts and Stars is the name of a song on the album. My bad.
Yeah, she mixes, which like I don't really like that song that album has voice clips in
don't
it, but
either.
yeah, they do use
I
it.
don't either.
Yeah, they weren't. I think like was it like Rhino, whoever released that, they really wanted to aim it at
Yeah.
kids.
I think it hinders.
So yeah, that's
I think
their
it
fault.
hinders it.
It hinders it a little bit.
Luckily, though, they used a lot of the same songs in Chemical Extraction for the PS1 and
Chemical
N64,
Extraction,
and so you
yeah.
can hear the non-voice clip versions through that game soundtrack. I think there's only a couple of songs that are missing.
Which I appreciate that they made that album in the first place, but I also even wish that like they would just release like the score.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even those versions, they're like they're remix versions of the score, so like they mix a lot of cues together,
Yeah.
which I love. But like also, I just miss like what if they just like I would like if they just had the mayor's theme like released. Maybe I'm not the only one. It's a good theme.
It is a good theme. Definitely.
That's really the fun thing about the show. Everybody has a theme in the show,
Mhm.
except Miss Bellum. I suppose the Talking Dog doesn't have a theme either. Wait, Miss Bellum does have a theme actually.
Yeah, it's just not played very often.
Wow, she's not played very often. Wow, so she has a theme too. And it's Tom Kenny playing another bus driver.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that Rocco episode? I think it's it's one of I don't remember it, but I know they go to it has something to do with the
They go to
animation
hell before they die.
or the fatheads. I think. Well, I mean, Heifer does go to hell in
Call
one of the episodes,
back.
but Tom Kenny has a Tom Kenny plays this tour bus driver. It's a very insane performance. He's just going
Mhm.
crazy. I mean, yeah, he's playing another one. But this guy is nice. This is the nice guy.
What a nice guy. How swell.
And yeah, I guess if you were like more annoyed at this stuff, you would ask why they're why are they on a school bus in the first place?
Why are they on a school bus? What the heck? Yeah, but
Because Buttercup clearly doesn't want to be there.
Is this the only time we see them on a school bus in the whole? No, we see them in Town and Out. Never mind.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think like literally somebody asked Craig in the interview, it's like and it kind of shows like the time it came out and the time the interview was conducted because it's just like I guess maybe to talk to the kids or we're just not that concerned about continuity.
Yeah, and that's
Like I just like that. That's the internet. It's just like we just didn't think about it.
and
Like,
honestly
oh, well.
for me,
It's like we just needed to get to the next story
one
point.
thing that's always bothered
I don't
me,
care about
one
it.
thing that's always bothered me, and this isn't about shows but about viewers, is they always I feel like some people require continuity in all shows no matter what, and it's like you don't need it in everything. Like would you need it in a serialized series? Absolutely, continuity matters, but if you're talking about like something episodic, it's like you don't need that. And I feel like a lot of people
Like this doesn't break the universe
yeah,
for
and it's
me.
like it bothers me when people will criticize and be like, well, this doesn't make sense because this episode contradicts that episode in terms of that. And it's like, continuity, it is subjective to an extent because it's like there's certain things you need to be continuous. For example, you can't have your character be so adamant about like, I hate onions or whatever. And for 50 episodes, it's constantly known this character hates onions, and then all of a sudden for 3 episodes they're like, actually, I'll eat these onions, no problem. I love onions now. Whoopee. And then they go back without it being a plot point or like an important story thing, but if it's just completely ignored. Like, for example, Powerpuff example. It is established in this series that only Blossom has ice breath. And then in future
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah,
but in future Powerpuff media, it is shown that Bubbles has ice breath. And it's like, that's not how that works. That was established firmly in the series to a point where it was made to be important enough to know Blossom has a special power, ice breath. The other two can't do that. So when it happens, it's glaringly obvious because it's made to be an important character trait of Blossom. It's not something that just gets glossed over. It's a recurring thing that you see Blossom do all the time in the series that the other two girls never do because it's established. Thing, yeah. That form of continuity, yes, that's important. Character-driven continuity, sure. But if you're like, oh man, him destroyed the entire city at the end of this episode and it's just magically repaired in the next one, it's like, no, who cares?
Why didn't they show them cleaning it up?
No, we don't need to see that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's not continuity that matters, you know? Like, it's...
Wait a minute, Professor Utonium drives a different car in this episode.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, maybe it's weird.
I mean, I can't really get mad at people for, like, caring about that, but, like, I personally, I don't really care.
My whole thing is when they make it, like, to be a detriment to the show, where it's, like, treated as a bigger criticism than it needs to be.
Yeah, it's like I have to take some, like, somebody's doing reviews, like I have to take some points off because why are they on? It's like, is that really worth taking points off? Like,
yeah, like, no.
Maybe it's cold out. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his current car was at the garage and he needed a rental for a day.
Yeah, but like also just like that answer, it's just like I guess we're like, you know, we needed to do a story point. We're not that concerned about continuity. It's just like shows where they are. It's like it's not like they were too like they were like being bad writers by not caring about continuity. They're just like literally just that's not what they were doing at that time with the show.
The show was not meant to have that level of detail. Like really your only continuity you need to be concerned with is characters. You don't want a character whose whole character trait is like, I'm so loyal. And then you have episodes where they're disloyal unless it's a plot point. If the whole episode concept is this character gets tempted or this character does something unintentionally disloyal and that's like a big thing of like conflict or acknowledgement, then it's like, okay, that's the point. Then you can have that. But if like a character is just disloyal because they just completely act out of character, in my opinion, that's bad writing. That doesn't make sense for that character to do that when it's established. That is not how they typically act or believe, again, unless they're prompted to change that, you know?
Yeah.
Like for me, like personally, here's an example. You know, I personally don't, gosh, okay, I can't think of, let me think. Let's say, for example, golfing. I can't golf. I mean, I've gone golfing before and I'm not terrible, but if I were to just I'm not going to wake up someday and be the best PGA player ever, just out of nowhere. Like, if I'm going to do that, I need to train, I need to change, I need to improve myself. Like that's an overtime change, you know, and you can see characters change through growth, but guess what? That's a result of continuity. Growth thrives off of continuity. If Samurai Jack just was an amazing samurai because he was born that way and didn't do any training and didn't have that whole montage of him growing up or whatever, it's like it's like one day he knows nothing and then the next day he's like, oh, I'm amazing, you know, or whatever. It's like that's bad writing. There's no development, there's no growth. It's like it's not believable, you know. Why did we go on this tangent too? Right. Why is this episode full of so many tangents?
I don't know. Why are we so passionate about these tangents?
I don't know, because I like good writing. I like, you know, entertainment and you know, I think criticism is important. Good criticism, genuine, like, you know,
good criticism.
It's like,
yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch something bad and like make fun of it, but like, is that really productive criticism? Yeah, maybe you can make some productive criticism out of that, but you know, I think more interesting conversation relies around constructive criticism and using examples as bad and good cases of what you can do, what you can't do. And I think the Powerpuff Girls really lends itself to that. You know, I mean, we're already bringing up good examples and bad examples of some of these tangents we're going off of. So, you know, I think it's interesting conversation to have. Like, sure, okay, maybe I'm derailing a little bit, but I think they're just important conversations, that it's interesting to discuss.
Well, yeah. Well, getting back to the episode, I do like that the girls hug each other after they're finishing the day.
Yep.
Again, only these characters.
Yeah, right.
Because like the Justice League isn't doing that.
Yeah. And then I love when Bubbles just goes on her total freak out and she's like, this should be green and this should be red and these should be orange or whatever. She's like flipping out.
Yeah, there's like that. There's another thing about season 1 building on the characters. Like with like Bubbles Wishes, we had Crazy Bubbles, so Fairfax had a little bit of Crazy Bubbles. Now they're just capitalizing. Like, oh, she could go crazy too.
Yeah, but it's not in like an aggressive, angry sort of way. The way she was in Bubble Wishes, it's more of like a panic.
Passionate.
Yeah, it's like a panic, a passionate panic, I would say.
Yeah, it's like I just love that. Hey, you can't park next to a fire hydrant.
I didn't know. Or I'm sorry, or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he just tosses that guy to his doom.
Basically. And it's educational.
Yeah, it teaches kids
there
something.
you go. If you park next to a fire hydrant, you're gonna die. Bubbles is gonna chuck you far away.
Bubbles is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, these people aren't listening. Like, there's a fire hydrant, there's no parking. What is it, like no standing ever or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Bubbles just takes the guy out. Gotta listen. Gotta follow the rules.
Absolutely.
My gosh, I'm so nasal right now.
You're good. But yeah, and then so a lot of the episode, it's like it's silly, it's fun, it's got a great concept. Again, love the leitmotif, and then we kind of get to the point where Mr. Mime gets a hold of Blossom and Buttercup, and Bubbles is all by herself, and it seems all hope is lost, everything's desperate, she's stuck in this basically this gray, empty world, and then she gets a brilliant idea, and through the power of music, they save the day. And honestly, I really like that idea for the simple fact that not only, and this is a really cool parallel that I liked. So not only does Mr. Mime take away color, he takes away sound. And that's emphasized in a lot of the shots where like you can see the girls looking around at the environment that he's taken, and like the jackhammer isn't making any noise. The baby isn't crying. The boombox, you can't hear the music anymore. So not only is he sapping color, he's sapping sound, and I like how the show kind of puts those two together. Not only are the two, like, of the 5 senses that, humans have, sight and sound are the ones that people rely on probably the most out of all 5. Not trying to discount the other 3, but let's face it, sight and sound are very
not to
important.
offend those senses.
Yeah, but yeah. Honestly, out of the 5 senses, if I could go without one, I'd probably choose taste. It would suck, but at the same time, I'd eat way healthier. So,
that is true.
And that's kind of the angle I put. You know what? Tangent. RJ, of the 5 senses, which one would you give up if you had to get rid of one?
I mean, I want to be a jerk and say hearing, but sight. I don't like seeing that much.
I guess fair. You're probably.
I don't think anybody else would choose that. But I don't.
Out of the 5 senses, I think people would probably choose sight the least. But
yeah,
fair.
Probably.
But yeah, for me it would be taste, simply for the fact that I would eat. I know for a fact, if I didn't have taste, I'd be able to eat anything, and in that case, I'd be able to eat way healthier. Would it suck? Of course. I'd hate to not be able to taste, but
be healthier.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
What do you care?
It's not all bad. It's like, touch might be a little, I don't know. Cause I feel like touch is one that people take for granted, maybe a little bit more than sight and sound. Touch is actually probably very vital, cause touch correlates directly to pain, in a lot of ways. And not having pain. I mean, yeah, okay. Maybe it would be nice to not have pain, but that could be a very detrimental thing to your health that you wouldn't have perception of. So I don't know. And I mean, you can make the argument for all 5 senses, of course. But anyway, not to detract too much. Getting back to my main point, I love the fact that they correlate sight and sound together in this with Mr. Mime, because that's how Bubbles counteracts it. The color returns through the sound she produces. Which I think is really cool. And then, like, obviously, the whole song just kind of comes in, and then the girls bring the color back through the power of the song. And maybe it's a little cheesy, sure. But it's fun, and it's lighthearted, and it's very in tune.
Not cheesy. It's fine. It's
Pun
fine.
intended.
It's not cheesy.
With the in tune comment that I totally intended 100%.
In tune.
Yes.
So the funny thing about like the Love Makes the World Go Round songs, they also have to use that green screen effect, I think.
Yes, they do. They do use the green screen. You can.
So I
you
think
can
in a
see
lot
that.
of shots where like Mr. Mime has to make everything gray, I think they use green most of it is green
Mhm.
screen.
And it is a cool
The only
effect.
obvious, the only like the only thing you have to I mean the only scene where you really see it is there's a balloon coming out in one shot, I
Yep.
believe. It's a little green.
Yep. You can
That's
no,
really
it's
it.
pretty apparent. It's actually very apparent with the shot zooming out from Bubbles playing the drums and then Buttercup starts on the bass. You can actually see if you're paying close enough attention,
Oh yeah.
Bubbles's waist is actually not cut properly. You can see the cut space between
Oh,
Bubbles's
that's
waist and
right.
the
That's
drum
right.
set. It's like she's misplaced. Which is a small detail. If you pay attention, you can see that.
Now we're talking about homage. This is kind of like this is sort of referencing like old Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah.
That's another thing I forget when I'm watching this. Like, oh, they're also Josie and the Pussycats in this.
Uh-huh.
Because you have one of them on drums. Like this is exactly what they did.
Yep. Yeah, through the power of music. I think Gem and the Holograms also, used music to, because Gem was like a sci-fi thing, I think.
The funny thing, I think Kathy Cavadini is in Gem and the Holograms.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who she is, but she's in it.
Interesting. That's cool to know.
What do you think of the girls singing?
I think it's fine. I like the song. It's catchy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Catchy.
They're good.
I love.
Yeah, David Smith also wrote the
Oh,
song.
nice. Yeah, I love the obvious lip sync error during the shot of the girls running towards the screen.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, Blossom and Buttercup's mouths are the same, even though Blossom is saying different words. Because Buttercup's just doing the love, 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 part, and Blossom's like puppy dogs, whatever.
Oh, you could get away with that.
But it's noticeable. Because originally, I believe originally it was actually meant that Blossom and Buttercup were singing the same lines while Bubbles
Really?
said the thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. And then they changed it, but the animation was not fixed to accommodate the song. I forget where I read that. I know there's a source out there that says something like that.
I guess to be a mean girl about this, being a mean girl for a second, being Regina George for a
here we
second,
go.
Blossom is the flattest singer out of the three.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not because Kathy can't sing, because she very much can sing.
Yeah, it might have just been either like the vocal direction or
It's just a character
Yeah.
voice. Some voices are hard to sing in. I just like Blossom. I think that is just a hard voice to sing in.
yeah.
That's always the fun thing I think about like when these shows when they sing. It's just like these people that could sing, but like you have to sing your character voice.
Yeah, that's even harder, honestly.
Like Buttercup might get off pretty good because it's like E.G.'s voice just like younger.
Mm-hmm. But
Tara does pretty good with
yeah,
it.
but even then, like she's got to do a higher pitched voice than her normal voice to do that. So it's like there's definitely some
Because
skill
remember,
there.
she sings like the Dream to Dream song in what is it? 50 Goes West, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
American Tale. I think that's the second one.
Mhm.
But yeah, she does like she's very good singing. It's just this particular character voice. Like it's like I don't know, like maybe Robert Jerbumkus can sing, but like if he had to sing a Squidward, you can't expect it to sound amazing.
Right.
Yeah, but like otherwise, like as far as a vocalist, Blossom's dead weight. Sorry, Blossom. She's good at the guitar though. She's great at the guitar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I noticed that scene where like Blossom does the guitar solo. I
And she's like biting her lip or whatever.
I watched
going so hard on the guitar.
Yeah, but I think I might have seen like a clip for like the Japanese version of this.
Uh-huh.
Somebody uploaded that. I just noticed that it seems a little bit edited when she does it in Japan.
Mm.
I wonder where that is.
Mm.
And the answer is because Pikachu decided to
Yeah. That's a good point.
decided to make a million kids sick when he
That is a very good point.
yeah. Because I think like what was that? That was 1998.
Yeah,
So
Electric Warrior Porygon I think would have aired the same year, maybe 97 in Japan. Hang on. Let me look.
I think it was 97 actually.
It was December 16th, 1997, so about a year and some change before. Because
Yeah, the year
Mime
before
for a
it came
Change
to
was
America.
99 at that point. Because they would have been several weeks
Yeah,
past.
I mean it didn't get edited in the US.
Yeah,
US
yeah,
is
just
fine, but
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah. Well, Electric Warrior Porygon like completely changed the way that Japan looked at all TV. I mean, that's the reason why even to this day, a lot of anime will do that dimming effect during bright action sequences in a lot of shows. They will literally dim
that
the full
affected the
screen.
entire industry.
Yeah. To this day, we still see it, which is like crazy. Like, way to go, Pikachu. Even though everyone blames Porygon, or not everyone, but Porygon's the character that doesn't get to come back in the anime ever. No. We can't have Porygon, but Pikachu, even though it was Pikachu's fault. But yeah. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Make an angry Reddit post. That's my solution for everything, even though I don't post on Reddit. but yeah. Okay, do you want to talk about the ending?
Yeah, why not? Let's talk about the ending.
All right. So, in the end, the girls zap Mr. Mime back into Rainbow the Clown, converting him back to what he did. He's like, "Oh, thank you, you saved me." And then the girls punch him in the face, beat him up, and say, "You're going to Sing Sing, bro," which is a pun, by the way.
It's so funny. He just like sits there like with like bruised. It's like, what?
What? Why? Yeah, and then they lock him up. Also, I'm
Like
pretty
even,
sure
he knows this is wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sing Sing was an intentional pun, and if it wasn't, well, then that's just convenient wordplay. But
of course, it was
yeah,
intentional.
It had to be. But again, that's like that is a subtle line that most people probably aren't going to pick up on that, you know. But if you're paying attention, you're an active viewer, and you're like, "Ah, I see what you did there." I mean, granted, some people are going to pick up on it. I'm not saying not, but like,
well, actually, to be honest, you actually should pick up on that anyway. Like, I don't know about
passive viewers are not going to pick up on that.
Well, maybe they didn't pick up because they were too mad about.
Yeah, because they're too mad about the ending. Which
Rainbow
okay,
look,
I'm gonna be honest. He deserved it. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the unpopular crowd. Maybe I don't know which opinion's more popular. He committed the crime.
Know. My thing is like, right. I still don't know whether he really deserves it or not.
Craig himself went on Twitter and flat out said that if he could write that episode today, he would change it.
Which, I mean, I understand. I think, like I'm not gonna lie. I think this is funny. Like, if you don't like it, I understand why you don't like it. I think it's funny, but like, I'm also speaking as like an adult cartoon fan who thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people. The thing with it, a lot of people assumed it was like an executive note, and people were saying that like it was like it was a fact. I don't know where people got that from.
Executive make
that's what I'm saying. Like, why would an executive say like, "Oh, more violence"?
Yeah, what the heck?
Like, no, you guys have to make this violence. Like that an executive's not going to tell you that.
No. Why would
like, this was just like this was
yeah.
Honestly, this was just like screwed up humor by like people in their 20s. Like that's really all this was.
Mm-hmm.
This is like it's literally like people in their like mid 20s like you know that's their type of humor.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing too, like seeing like artists get older, like sometimes they might reject some of their earlier work a little bit. Cause I remember like early Peanuts was a little harsh, and I know like Charles Schultz is a little bit. He doesn't really like the harsh stuff as like he started to grow older. Mm-hmm. Even though you know we might love it.
Yeah,
I like the harsh stuff, but
yeah, and I mean people's perceptions.
That's also what happened. Cragen is the dad now too, so I'm sure he might not like that.
Yeah, I mean people's perceptions of things and their sense of humor and their interests and all that stuff. I mean people change over time. You know, they develop. You know, what was once humorous or was once a proud thing is now, you know, something that's looked back on with maybe a sour taste of like, I don't feel fond of this anymore, you know, and that's completely normal. We literally earlier, I sat and I told you like, I hate the first 2 years of my YouTube videos. I used to think those were good. Now I sit there and I'm like, ugh, you know, obviously that's a quality thing, not necessarily a concept or a content thing, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Maybe like if you're a kid watching this, like a little bit more literally, like you probably just thought this was unfair and like unsettling, which like I understand that. So really, like my opinion on this is like I think it's funny, but I defend your right to not like it because it is kind of messed up. It's a screwed up moment.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So if you're not with the humor of that, then like I understand why you don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether this is like bad writing or horrible is like really that's subjective.
Yeah, I would not
honestly
call it bad.
Personally. Yeah, because I mean, like I think it's a funny gag. Like that's really the gag. It's like maybe he like there's a possibility that he doesn't really deserve it, but I think that was a joke. Like let's just have him like beat him up like they would any other villain, and that's literally why he goes butt because he's like he wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, and I think that was part of the appeal too. Was its shock? You know, it's supposed to shock you. Like, oh, I thought, you know, oh, we saved him. Everything's good. But nope, you're going to jail, bro. You still did this. And it's like, you can make the argument, well, he wasn't in control. But it's like, I don't know that that's necessarily a valid argument. Obviously, it wasn't his fault.
I mean, like, granted, like I'm not going to lie. The scene really probably shouldn't be there. Like, it should have ended a different way. But I think it's funny, unfortunately.
Yeah. And again, humor's subjective.
That's
so
really,
if you don't
yeah.
like it, that's completely valid.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you're completely in the right not to like it. Because, like, yeah, again, the scene is wrong. Like that is wrong.
Yeah,
it's a bad way to end the episode, but you know, I find it funny. Well, I think something that everybody likes. I think everybody likes the narrator singing along with the song.
Yeah. at the end. Yep.
He's such a fanboy. I love him.
He is. He's great. Love the narrator.
Yeah, one of the best characters in the show.
100%, and a lot of people forget about him.
I don't know how.
Well,
I don't even know.
In all fairness, he is just a voice, so it's like you can't really like.
He's just a voice, but like,
him.
how could you like he's major though, so like, how could you? I don't even know how could you even make that show without having that narrator on screen. Not on screen, obviously.
Yeah, but present. Yeah.
Like not having him part of it. Like how could you even? Why would you want to do that?
That's a great question for a different group of people, but we don't need to.
That's
talk
true.
about
Yeah.
So yeah. Honestly,
Anyways, good set.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is again another really solid pairing. Honestly, the Bubble Vicious and Fairfax and this are my two favorite pairings. I do like the other pairing a little bit more, but I still really enjoy these two episodes as well, for sure. So yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up Mime for a change. So I guess if you want to, RJ, we can move on to some questions if you're interested.
Sure.
Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up both YouTube and Spotify and see if I can find any good questions that people may or may not have left. I'll check YouTube first because we've only gotten one, I think, on there. All right, so, I think we might have talked about this before, but I'll go ahead and just ask it anyways. Let's see. This is from Moonman619-SO or S0N1C. This is from a couple weeks ago. They say, first, I just want to say I love the podcast. Thank you. Secondly, I apologize if you answered this already, and maybe we have, but it's been so long that I forgot. But will you ever cover Powerpuff Girls Z sometime in the future? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, even if it's not to the extent of your 2016 PPG or OG PPG Season 1 videos. Have we covered
It sounds like
this
he's
before?
asking you.
Well, yeah, but we're gonna talk about. I mean, it's both of us. So how do you feel about talking about PPGZ, RJ?
I'd be willing to do episode on it. The whole show, I'm not sure because I'm not really a fan of it personally.
Neither am I.
Which I have to be nice about it because nobody likes the 2016 version, but people are generally pretty positive on Z. I don't personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, like, it's not even really made for fans of the original, so I didn't expect to like it before I ever watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more, that one's a little bit more targeted at, I guess, honestly, like, little girls in Japan, really. That's really who that show's for. It's not the same thing. The comedy isn't really there for me.
Uh-huh.
It's not really that original on its own, too. Like, even, like, people, like, you could say that it's doing its own thing, but, like, it's not really that interesting on its own, unfortunately, for me.
Yeah.
So I think there are other magical girl shows that are a little bit more unique than that.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it's kind of like it's really like a sort of a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean it is a cash grab, but I don't want to be harsh, but that's sort of all it really is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. For me personally, I just have no interest in the show. I'll just be quite frank.
I mean, to be honest, I think it was some people's like introduction to anime, I think. So I think that's why it's probably fondly remembered by some people.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there's that's cool that it's people's first anime. I'm not really a fan of the show though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll figure that out at a later date.
I'd be willing to do an episode in the future of it, but
yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll talk about it.
But like more like just one Powerpuff Girls Z episode, just like covering like I guess one episode of the show or something.
Yeah, we'll play with some ideas. So no promises one way or the other. But, we'll see. Okay, and then this one is from the Space Monkey Boy. I really just have to read this, RJ. Okay.
I think I know which one this is. Yeah.
Hey guys, just started listening to the podcast and finally got to this episode. Gotta ask, though, what's with all the shitting on Doug? I get it. It wasn't as exciting as Rugrats or Ren and Stimpy. But is the hate, like, a bit? Or what? Feels like you have seething hate for the character himself. Like your YouTube channel, like your podcast. Don't know what your freaking beef is with Doug. Yeah, RJ, what's your beef with Doug? What's up with Doug, man?
It's like is it a bit or it's like half a bit and half isn't.
No, Doug sucks. Are you kidding me? Doug's terrible. Doug's awful. It's so boring. It's trash. I hate Doug.
I My other thing is like I think it was a good show in 1991, but like
No,
not really after that.
no, it wasn't.
Oh wow, yeah.
Dude,
You see,
I'm just
you're a
gonna be
little bit
honest.
you're
Doug
harsher.
sucks.
You're harsher about Doug than I am.
I guess I am, but it's really
So
not
to be
a good
honest, I guess
show.
the answer
It's not.
is I'm half for me it's half a bit. For him he's completely just hates Doug. Like he has it out for Doug.
Look, I'll be honest. The bit is me over exaggerating, but I genuinely think Doug is a terrible show. I genuinely do. It's so unbelievably boring and uninteresting that it's like, why is it even animated?
I don't think it's
I
a
don't
bad
know.
show. I just think it's boring. But
Why is it animated? It's a show about nothing. How do we know when it's over? Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty garbo, personally.
it's
but-
fine. I think it was really good at its because like remember like that it came out in 1991. That was like the middle of like Saturday morning stuff. So like that I think it was really refreshing when those Nicktoons came out. Like that was really welcome. But
Yeah,
I
but
think
there were so
Hey
many
Arnold-
other
Hey
better
Arnold-
Nicktoons at the same time.
yeah, Hey Arnold's Hey Arnold like Nick made another slice of life show, and that's a lot more interesting than Doug. So like hey,
Exactly.
I think Doug is obsolete basically. That's my
Yeah.
opinion on it. He's obsolete.
Yeah, exactly. And he has the gall to have the last name Funny, even though he's the exact opposite. The
Yeah,
gall.
come on, man. And like
The
he didn't do
gall.
anybody any favors. Like really, Doug's first movie. Like what an ego. First off,
The gall. That's what I'm
Doug-
saying.
the goal.
like,
Like
that's why
your
he
first
sucks.
movie. Okay,
I hate him. He's like he had such an arrogant like asshole-ish attitude. Like, oh yeah, look at me. This is my first movie. I'm gonna have a whole series of this. We're gonna have an MCU of Doug. Like,
I
no,
don't
and then
think
it
the
never
character is
happened.
arrogant
Put him
at
in his
all. But, like, it's,
place.
like he
Put him in his
like, come on, man.
place.
Like listen, somebody has to put Doug down.
Yes,
Because the world's
put him
not doing
down.
enough for him.
Just like they were about to put that dog down in that one Christmas special. What an uplifting Christmas special. We're gonna put your dog down, Doug, because you're trying to kill someone, even though it was really saving someone's life. Like,
It was so traumatic that he switched networks and voices.
oh yeah, like oh my god, it's yeah. I don't know. I admit, yes, my hate is over exaggerated, and I'm playing it up. I don't actually spend every day of my life hating on Doug, but like, it's not a good show. It's not a good show.
It's a good show. I just don't.
So-
I don't care for it.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You take that.
He's
back
also.
right
I think
now,
like
RJ.
the real answer is like that show is just like a convenient punching bag.
It is because it's Doug. Like, oh, it's so yeah. Anyway,
Listen, I'm
I
a little
just- I felt-
anti-Rugrats occasionally, so
look, we mean no offense, that Space Monkey Boy. I know you've left 2 other comments questioning our hatred for Doug.
wait, there's more than one.
It's fine. Yes, there's 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll tone
it's
it
all-
down maybe.
It's all good. It's all good. Doug's just not, you know? But yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. So just as a reminder for everyone, we do have Q&A sessions at the end of every episode. I know that there's probably not a lot of you that listen to the end. So honestly, that's more like pickings for you guys to get your questions read. So go ahead and, leave some questions on Spotify in the YouTube comments. Let us know what you think about the episodes. Give us your thoughts, give us your feelings. Let us know questions you might want us to answer. And we'll go ahead and try and do that in the next couple of episodes. So, yeah, with that, do you have anything else you want to say, RJ? Or are we good to kind of wrap this up?
Yeah. Now we're good.
Okay. All right. So then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it here. This was it might end up being our longest episode. I don't know. But yeah, next episode, we're going to be talking about the first half-hour special of the Powerpuff Girls, which is none other than season 1, episode 12, The Rowdy Rough Boys. Definitely a very, very noteworthy episode, that I'm sure we will have a lot to talk about. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good time. Stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys then.
So, once again, the day is saved. Thanks to the Powerpuff Girls.